afternoon, everyone. How are we this afternoon? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Marvellous. How are you all? Right. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to wait just a little minute and just wait for a few more people just to jump on. Let me get you on the tablet so I can see any comments that may arise or any questions, because that is what we're here for as well. If you have any questions, please make sure you put them through. If there's anything you think, oh, I wonder if she's got that and she'll show me how to use it, I am more than happy to interrupt what I have planned to show you something that you're like, oh, that I would like to see that. That is totally cool. So hi Sue, you all right, my lovely? Right. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to use some of, this is a new set of Ecolines I've got me this week. It's the Greys. I was really looking forward to using the Greys. I haven't had a chance to use them yet. So what I'm doing is I'm setting myself up for failure and I'm going to use them for the first time live with you guys. So isn't that good? And just a tiny bit stupid. But that's all right. That's okay. So happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Hello, Sam. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to use some the Crafty stamps. So I'm going to use the light bulb circuit here. I can't find any of my backing cards. I'm going to have to redo me some backing cards so I can show you guys what I'm using. And I'm going to use definitely... The stamps are all over the place. On the bright side, it looks like I use them. I mean, I do use them. And I'm going to use my under construction as well. Hi, Denise. And a few other bits as well. Maybe the light tomorrow. So I'm going to use them with the Ecolines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a really sort of monochromatic project. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how this finishes up. And then I'm going to decide whether I'm going to put it in a journal or it's going to be something that will look best in a frame or something like that. Because I'm quite excited about how it's going to look, and we're going to colour with the Ecolines and blend some out and blend some different tones together. So I'm quite excited by the Greys set. I'm not going to lie to you. So first of all, we need to stamp up our light bulb circuit. Now, looking at that, that is not the big enough super skinny slim, is it? I need the biggest one, which is a ginormous granddaddy. Not the daddy, it's the granddaddy. And we'll be using that with our light bulb circuit. Now, what I love about the light bulb circuit is the detail. There's so much in it. There's so much to play with. You have, you've got text in there. You've got the circuitry within the Edison bulb and whatever. So it's quite exciting. It's one of those I really enjoy putting together, to be honest. So hi Malcolm, hi Jane, hi everybody. Right, so as you've just tuned in, I'll go over quickly again what we're going to do while I look for my black ink pad that I want to use rather than the one I've left out. I can't find it. Where is my VersaFine? Oh, I know where it is. Bear with. Sorry, it left it on the dining room table. Here we go. Right, so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be making sort of like a monochrome project with some stamps and the grey set of Ecolines, which I was just saying I haven't used before. I've wanted, and then this week, because let's face it, November's not proving to be any nicer to us all than October, is it? So what I'm gonna, so I treated myself to the grey Ecolines, because why wouldn't you? So I've done that. So I was like, right, what can I use them with? So I thought I'd try and do like sort of like a monochrome project. And like I said, I haven't decided yet whether or not this is going to go in a journal or a frame or anything like that. So I'm just going to work on this sheet here. This is just a piece of one of the pads I bought from the range. I'm sure I've showed you guys it before. It's a it's not a Winder. It's a Winsor & Newton drawing and sketching cartridge pad that I got from the range. Home on the range. Does anyone else sing that when they're going to the range? Nope, just me. Just me! November is worse than October. Absolutely. I totally agree. And then we've got our light bulb circuit on there. So you can see what I'm saying about how cool it is with all the detail you've got in there, because you've got the script, you've got this sort of... And what I like about it is it sort of mixes almost vintage steampunk style with more modern style. So you've got sort of like the modern circuitry, and then you've got the old-fashioned circuitry inside the Edison bulb and whatever. So that's quite fab. Now onto here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the under construction from the under construction set here. So on this you've got tire tracks and various things, because what I want is the cogs, and you can see I do this a lot, okay, because the cogs are just super useful, and I'm going to use those to create corners all the way around. Okay, so and then I might add in some of the tire tracks after. So just going to get me a piece of scrap card, because I'm going to be stamping off the edge. No, I'll do it on the back because I might want to use that. Right, so let me just ink that up again. Alrighty. So put these cogs on the corner here, and what I want to do is I sort of want to build this up to create something that I can then really spend some time colouring with the Ecolines. Hi Caroline, you found me. Was I lost? So I'm just wanting to add these cogs in, because like I say, I'm really sort of into making it into a picture right now. I don't know why, it's just the way the mood has taken me today, you know. And I'm going to put some more there. Oh, that's so cool. And then some more. Actually, I'm going to line that cog up over that circle, because I think that'll look rather awesome. I'll centralise that, and then that'll look proper on purpose. Proper on purpose. Right. Ace. Okay, so that has built that up very nicely. And then I'm going to take, I think, yeah. So on this one, I've got some, because this is a smaller version of that bulb, and then I've got some little ones here. So I'm going to take that, put it on the end of my border, super skinny. Okay, I'm going to put so we're just using and do this with a lot of your stamps in a way, you know, get yourself one, you know, use one of your big ones, because obviously we've got like a few in this sort of, not this sort of style, but I mean in sort of like the compilation-y style, like the collage, and then you can add in extras from your other stamps, and this is really cool. Maggie, right, you can really sort of layer them up. Now I don't know about you guys, right, but I actually think that looks really cool as it is. You could actually layer that up on, say, black, white, and then in a frame, and that would be an ace picture. You could, you know, you could put a nice big word across there if you wanted to. There's so much. I just think that looks beautiful as it is. Like, to the point I would almost be tempted not to do anything else with it, but something tells me that is not quite long enough for a demo today. That'd be like, oh, well, that was a bit rubbish. Goodness gracious, listen to my poor heat gun. Doesn't it sound poorly? It's not good. Right, So then what we're going to do is use my new Ecolines, like I say. So this is the Greys set. So should we go through this? Because I don't know what's in it, because like I say, it's new. Right. So we've got a black, which is fab, deep grey, cold grey, grey, warm grey, cold grey light. See, these are a nice little thing that I wasn't expecting. A deep sepia and an indigo. So they're quite a nice addition to the grey. I'm quite chuffed with them. Then that's got to be a warm grey and a blender. Right, so I'm probably going to stick to, I have to say, around about these, because I don't really want to use the black. But I think I might take out that a warm grey here. I think I'm going to stick with the cooler greys and this deep grey, because I think they're what I'm after. Right, so I've got a little cup of water that's dirty from my Facebook Live last night. It would be a record for me to finish that in time. Yeah, I know. But, you know, we can but try. We can but try. And that's the whole point, isn't it? So, yeah. So, a black mount. Absolutely fab. You know, if you were doing this for work... Tell you what. And this is what I love... It's not what I love about stamping. It's one of the things I love about stamping. Okay? It's... when you come back to a stamp that you know well, and let's face it, I know this stamp really, really well. You know, if anyone's going to know it, it should be me. And I do know it really, really well. And then I've come back to it today with a different sort of plan. And it is like seeing it for the first time. That was a bit Madonna. I won't sing. The temptation is rife. But I won't sing. Okay. I'm just going to fade that out. I mean, how easy is that? I mean, it's like Ecolines. I'm telling you what. And it's weird because me and Sam were sat. We do this a lot. We sit and look at like a product wall. We're like, what would we like next? That is actually lighter than I thought it would be. I might add in some of the deep grey. Me and Sam were sat the other day on the tables looking at the product wall of the Ecolines. Like, which ones do we want next? And bless her, Sam's going, she's being proper, and she's going through all the colours, and she's like, well, I like all the colourways, and she's like, I like this one, I like this one, you know. And whatever, and I'm like, I just really want the greys. She was like, you what? I was like, I really, really want the greys. And she was like, you should have the greys if you like the greys. So then I got me some greys. So yeah, just take the deep. Yeah, I am actually just going to heat set what I've done there and then add in some of the darker grey. I was worried that the deep grey, sorry, not dark grey, that the deep grey would be too dark to start, but I don't think it's going to be. So I'm going to dry off what I've done because I want to go on with my pen. You can, of course, put these on your blending mat. But this, I think, is just such an easy way of doing it. Go on with my pen. And then I'm actually going to get a bigger brush. There we go. There we go. I'm going to brush this out. Marvellous. Colour moving. Okay, so does anybody right? Okay, so I forgot to do my thing. Right, so Sam's gonna laugh at me again because I did this last night. I was talking to Well, no, I was talking to, but I was having my eyebrows ripped out the other night, and the lady that does that for me, that I pay to do that for me, said to me, she says, when you do your videos, she says, you're so hell-bent on getting started to colour in or use something or mess with what you're doing, you don't actually tell people who you are, and they might not know who you are, so you should really tell them. I was like, well, to be honest, they're not really bothered who I am. They're more interested in the card stuff as well, so I'm going to go around this centre bit as well. I am using the, let me grab it for you, or the lid of it. Oh no, it's still attached. I'm using this. It's a medium surface cartridge pad, heavyweight. Sam, I think you've got one of these because I think you bought one when we went to the range like ages ago, like pre-lockdown. And it's a 220 GSM heavyweight cartridge paper. Because when you're using your Ecolines, you do want to make sure that you are using a cardstock where it's easy for the ink to move, because otherwise you're not going to get the benefit of them. I don't think, anyway. Like I say, this is my first play with the grey ones. Anyway, I think it's going quite well. I quite like them. Okay, anyway, who am I? Yes, sorry guys. So, if you're joining me for the first time, I'm normally here on a Wednesday, crafting together all brands. My name's Bev. I'm from Be Crafty in the UK. And I love to stamp and get inky because it's fun, basically. And that's all the reason you ever need. So, yeah. So I'm going to take the cold grey and the cold grey light. Okay, so in this cog here, I'm going to do cold grey on here, and then use the cold grey light to come out. Look at that. It's like, I used to use pro markers a lot. I still have all my pro markers and whatever. And in fairness, when you're blending over the seam, it's kind of like when you used to do that with your pro markers. But obviously, the joy of this is, if you don't get exactly the blend you want, you can just grab a water brush and go over it, and there you have it, totally ready. It's just exciting, oh my gosh. But it's absolutely, this is just fun. This is just fun. I think a watercolour paper would be better, Jane, absolutely, if you've got it. But my watercolour cardstock pad has, for want of a better description, I think just made a run for it. Don't know where it is. Was here, now it is gone. You know, I'm sure it'll come back. You know, when I say come back, I'm sure I'll find it. But at the moment, it is not present, shall we say. And that's cool. So what guys have you been making this week? Have you seen, sorry, don't know what happened there, Crafting Together hit over 6,000 members this week. In, you know, just a few months. Did you tidy up again, Bev? I'm still working on it. You know, in just a few months. And we've had some absolutely fantastic demonstrators coming to do lives for us in that time. I'm very excited about the Tracy one later, but I am going to have to catch up on that because that's a school run time. But I once did do a workshop with Tracy in Coventry, and she was absolutely brilliant, really funny, really nice lady. And what made me laugh at that time was, it was June a few years ago, you know, the one where it was like super duper hot, and she was saying, I don't know how you cope with this heat. It's funny listening to an American say, I don't know how you deal with the heat in Britain. Especially when I said to her, you live in San Diego, my love. You know, you're saying you can't deal with the heat here. You live in San Diego. And she said, yeah. She said, but she said, that's a dry heat. The heat here is damp. She said, it makes you feel like you can't breathe. So, yeah. I remember us having quite a good conversation about that. But an absolutely lovely lady. So if you are still available, at 3, I would say to you, stick around for Tracy, because I think she's going to be doing some art journaling, which is very, very exciting. So I'm just going to do some more of these cogs. Now I have to say, I think it's safe to say, this will be one of these that will be continued. So I don't know if I'll get it finished today. Let's face it, Sam put doubt in that, you know, as soon as I carried on stamping. He was like, no way you're getting that one finished. But you know, I don't think I'm doing too bad. I don't think I'm doing too bad, am I? See, I'm pretty sure my desk isn't on a hill, but you know, look. Whee! And then they're all back. It's amazing what you can do to entertain yourself, isn't it? You missed that workshop? Yes. Maggie, yes, it was me and Maggie. We had a girls' weekend away to Coventry. You know, which, bear in mind, is really not that far from where I live. But still, it was a weekend away, so it counted. I'm going to put that down, because that is the cold grey light. I'm just going to primarily stick with the cold grey and the deep grey, because I can sort of blend them out. So I'm going to put the cold grey there, and then yeah, we did have a workshop with Andy Skinner as well. I will say, Tracy did call me an overachiever. And would you like to know why? This will come as not a surprise to those of you that do know me. We had to add white detail to a project, and bear in mind this was several years ago, okay, so it did actually predate my complete white pen obsession, but it's, you know, let's just say I was definitely symptomatic at the time. We had to add white detail to this mountain board project, and I went to town adding in little dots and whatever. She called me an overachiever with my white pen detail. Oh dear. It was funny though. It was funny. But like I say, very nice lady. So if you are available to stay for a little while when I'm finished, I would advise you to do so. And if not, definitely catch up. See, Maggie was there. She can testify. Tracy did call me an overachiever, because she even said to Maggie I wouldn't want to be sat next to her. Oh, it's amazing to remember, isn't it? She said to Maggie, oh, I wouldn't want to be sat next to her, overachiever. I mean, I was just doing as my craft instructor had told me and adding in white detail as I was told. Yeah. But we all like the old white pennage, don't we? You know. Well, if you know me, you do. See, Maggie said I'm not even joking. Right, so these are the only cogs that I haven't put any on yet. I'm actually going to add a little bit more to these. So I'm going to come round in that line there. This thing, you don't have to blend them out. It's just that you can if you want. Now, instead of adding a little bit of dark here, although obviously we've used the same cogs for each corner, I would like them to look slightly differently. So I've coloured each one, just not quite the same. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this one, but we'll see. I think I'm going to go around and colour all the sprogs in the deep grey. And I said I wasn't going to use the black, but I'm wrong. I'm going to grab the black. Whoa! I'm going to use the black in here to make it look a little bit more solid. Because I have to say, the Ecoline black, it's a really good black. It's not like a deep grey. There was this thing on Facebook this morning about a person who has invented the blackest paint, and it literally absorbs, like, it does absorb all the light. It doesn't reflect any back, and it sort of creates like this black hole effect. It's really, really cool. Anyway, the Ecoline black is really, really good too, and it does absorb a lot of the light and does create that real darkness through it, which is fab. Is that a mug the girls made for you? Well, they didn't make it for me. Technically, Caitlin put her name on it. But she did say I could use it for paint water. That's all. No, it's not weak tea. It's dirty paint water. We don't drink weak tea because that's disgusting, as Caitlin would have used to say. Again, sorry, you guys, that are new to me. For a starter, I'm sorry. Secondly, Caitlin is my youngest daughter. She's 8. I did know. I know it sounded like I wasn't sure and I was thinking about that then. I do know how old she is. She's definitely 8. And when she was little, if something was horrible, she used to go, "That's disgusting." In weak tea, she would have been right. It is disgusting. Okay. Overwatered that slightly, but that's okay. Right, and then I'm going to go around here with my deep grey. So you can see, just bringing all those greys in, it is advancing. I know we said how pretty it looked without being coloured in, but I do think adding a greys. I will say, initially I was tempted to add in a colour. I think I am just going to stick with the greys because I think it's very, very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Right, sorry, the messages have just gone funny on my tablet. Let me check. Okay. No, I'm fine. There you are, all back. Right. So now I've got to decide where I'm going to start adding in. So obviously these bits were sort of easy because they were all contained. Now it's sort of about deciding where I'm going to add in bits through the background. Now in fairness, I think I will. I'm not going to say what I'm going to use actually, because every time I say, oh, I'm not going to use that, 30 seconds later I'm like, oh yeah, I might do. Right, so let's go with this around here. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and do those honeycombs. So I'm just going to pull that all the way down, I think, till it runs out. I think I have to do something around the edge. What do you think? Just sort of like a dark line around the edge? Your paint water's quite clean at the moment. Mine is not. Right. And then, what just made a noise? Who knows? Right, and then I'm going to go 2 sides of these hexagons. I really need a new chair, don't I? Creak, creak. Captain Squeak. Okay, and we're just going to add water. And as you can see, I'm actually not pulling it across the hexagon. What I'm going to do is I'm sort of just flooding and loosening up the edge, and then letting the water do the work. And it's travelling as far as the water wants to, and that's it. And that, I'm going to get you down. Okay. And that is a really easy way to watercolour. See, that's, I'm going to turn that light off just a sec because it's shining. See what I mean? So by just letting the water decide how much that travels, so much easier. And you don't really have to worry about it at all. Right. Turn this light back on. Waha! Right. I know. Listen, see, now I'm trying to make it squeak and it's not. Oh, hang on. Squeaky, squeaky. I know. Awful. Awful. Oh, there we go. Right. So, I'm going to go around here. I'm going to do exactly the same. Flood it as much as you dare with the water. Like I said, I do think a watercolour cardstock would be even better for moving the ink around, but I'm actually quite pleased with how this is working right now. And let's face it, what crafting together is about is helping you use all the things that you might have already. So the thing is, for example, if you were thinking, oh, I might treat myself to a little Ecoline, strongly recommend it. It's made me feel much better about November. Right, treat yourself to a wee Ecoline, you know, but you might want to see what cardstock you've got already in your stash to use to start with. So, for example, if you've got some decent weight cartridge, we've seen that works all right, don't we? Oh, stop going on about my chair. It's very comfortable, that's the problem. I know I should change it, but the problem is it's on this chair a lot, and it's really comfy. And when you guys aren't here, I don't even hear the squeak. I just become self-conscious of it when you guys are around. Right. So yeah, so crafting together all brands. Have you shared a project on crafting together all brands this week? If you haven't, you should. Have you asked for any help with anything? Again, if you've needed, I'm not saying you should if you don't need, but if you do need help with anything, you should ask, because that's why we're here, to help. It's not just us, as in the admin team or any of the people that do lives. What I mean is there are over 6,000 people in here now. So if you're struggling what to do on a project, chances are there is someone in this little old group somewhere that's going to be able to help. So make sure you ask, because that's what turns a group into a community, isn't it? That was a bit touchy-feely. Right. But it's true. You got distracted by a low-flying plane. I've heard some excuses in my time. Here we go. So then I'm just going to work these hexagons on this end as well. And that starts, again, bringing out features that maybe weren't obvious before. Again, which we like, don't we? So I'm going to use the dark. I'm just thinking now. I think we need to make a bit of a feature of these. So I'm going to add in a shadow underneath. And that I'm not going to blend out. And I'm going to do the same to this one. Create a shadow. That went a bit too much. That's cool. That is cool. Turning my swivel chair and sweeping lots of stuff off the sides. Darling, I don't need to swivel on my swivel chair for lots of stuff to fall to the sides, because obviously this bit of my desk is tidy, this bit, but everything else is pushed upwards. And for example, last night when I was doing my live on our page, there was a cascade of items coming down onto the desk. So there was that as well. I'm just going to grab a piece of black card, if I can find some, because I want to see how this is developing in terms of onto a piece of black card, because I think that's where we'll really see. Oh yes, I think that is going to be rather cool. Do we think quite a thin border or a thick one? I am tempted to put it in my art journal and put like a big word across the middle. I'm not doing a picture pan around the space. Absolutely not. No way. That is somebody asking to do a picture pan around the space that knows what the space looks like. Absolutely not. Not happening. So yeah, I'm thinking that's what I think. A bit of grey then black. That is a good idea, Jane. But what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to use my Ecolines to create a smushed piece, I think. No, I know what I'm going to do as well to go around. I'm going to go around and add a couple more shadows, I think. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around the edge with this grey. Here. Just using the side of my brush tip. Don't worry if it's not like a perfectly straight line, because we're going to go over it with our water brush as well. And just sort of flood it and disturb the edge so it's not exact anyway. Here we go. And I think the words that go on here are going to need to be stamped and heat embossed on white. And then maybe onto an Ecoline background, I think. Maybe. Then I'm just going to go back round and over the waterline to make sure, see, that edge is really sort of soft, and that's what we're after. Well, that's what I'm after. You know, if you're doing something similar, for a start, please show me when you're done, because I'd like to see. And it's not just because I'm nosy. I mean, a lot of it's because I'm nosy, but it's not just because I'm nosy. Alrighty. So, I'll just move what is not a weak cup of tea up there. And I'm going to put this onto my heat resistant sheet so that I can give it a proper dry. Steve, how big of a card do you think this is going to make? This is an A5 piece. So it would need to go onto an A4 card once layered up. I don't even know if grey card is something I have. Truth be told. Yep, feels pretty dry. Ow! And the tip on my bullet feels really hot. Right, so I'm actually thinking to to go into one of my art journals. This may go. I'm thinking into my Dina Wakley. Onto there. With maybe some washi tape. Because you've got to admit, layered onto the white, that does look absolutely awesome. I really, really like that. It's absolutely beautiful. But seeing it like that is tempting me to put it onto a canvas as well. What does it look like? It does look quite cool on there. What else have we got? I mean, you have to, I mean, even onto one of these backgrounds. But I am thinking, do you guys agree with me there? Oh, look, there's the light bulb from the littler one. You know, but even on there, like with a coloured background, fab. I'm thinking that onto the white. But it is tempting me to find a canvas to put it on. Okay, guys, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop there for today, and I would like you all to take note that I did not use a white pen or a fine liner or a distress ink at all. Okay, and I think, you know, in fairness, if I was going to have a challenge, that's what it would be, wouldn't it? So thank you very much for joining me today. If you are new to Crafting Together All Brands, hello, and please take a look through all the lives that are available. You can just go into media and find them in there. We do have the fantastic Tracy Winesapfel up next at 3 o'clock. And she is rather marvellous. I can quite say that. She's a very talented lady, very talented artist. And she is going to be doing some beautiful art journaling, as far as I'm aware. I haven't used one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go now and give you a chance to go and get a cup of tea, a biscuit, because if you're not having a biscuit, why have a cup of tea? I'm going to see and a biscuit and get yourself sat down ready to go. I think it's a canvas too. And you get ready to watch Tracy at 3. So thank you so much, guys. I will be back here on Crafting Together All Brands at next week, as far as I'm aware. But please make sure you have a look through the back catalogue of lives. There are some absolutely fantastic ones, lots of awesome designers doing lots of awesome things, and then occasionally there's me just jibber jabbering, you know. So if you've got, you know, an hour to spare, they can be quite good fun. Alright then, guys, go and grab yourself a drink and get yourself ready for Tracy at 3. Thanks, bye.